Hey, I'm Jeff and welcome back to another video. Today is going to be pretty random. I have just a couple little projects. First one being I have to repot this orchid. Picked up a new cactus. We got ourselves a booby cactus. Then I'm going to show you some of the changes that I made down in the basement here to my little plant studio. So let's check it out. I think I'll start with my plant workshop area. It's not very often that I have like a zoomed out picture of the whole area, but I did turn this computer around today because it was facing the other way. I just wanted a nice screen, I guess. Oh, got it fired up. So yeah, I've been doing lots of cleaning, lots of organizing with my plant table, but with the addition of the 3D printer, I just wanted to have this whole area a little bit more presentable. Now I do want to get rid of this little sewing table as well as this it's an IKEA table. I want to have an extension from my little workshop table. I want to have a nice presentable desk with some nice features and yeah, just overall just looking really good just because of the 3D printer. So I do have a second channel for that now. I've just been kind of learning and practicing, but this is the area. So back here we have our TV. Yeah, so this is my IKEA cabinet. I'll just kind of take you through the whole area. This is my plant wall, a lot of the pothos. I got some monsteras back there. Here's my little behind the workshop studio type things. Now yesterday I added a grow light underneath one of these shelving units here. I did have to move my desk closer to the wall just so I could fit the 3D printer along with my computer in this area. So I kind of lost a little bit of space on the edge of the workshop table here. So I did add, this is the Mother Plant Spectrum 32 grow light. I just added these two little brackets. I have wanted to add some cactus or cacti down in my tropical area for quite some time. So now this gives me the ability to, just because the distance between the light and the plants is pretty minimal. So it's good for these cactus. I think it was just kind of under 1,000-foot candles, which I can add a little extension piece maybe just to drop it a little bit lower, just because I want to optimize as much light as I can for these cactus. But so these are the ones that I have so far. I don't even know the names of them, to be honest. I absolutely impaled my thumb on this one earlier. I was gonna say I can't remember the name of this one, but then I realized it's actually on the tag here. So this one I picked up probably about a month ago for 25 bucks. I think that's what it is, 25 bucks. This one I got at Canadian Tire. I don't think it has a name on it. Yeah, it just says cactus or succulent. This one I think is super, super cool. Does it have a name on it? Yep, this one. So yeah, some pretty cool stuff. I want to make just a little cactus area here. I'm not going to touch this one because that didn't feel good. So I'm just going to put these back. Got some pretty cool looking ones here. This one is dangerously sharp. So this is the little cactus area. Now I guess I should segue into this. I got the booby cactus today. I don't even know the actual name of it, but this one I've been searching for a while around here. They've generally been fairly expensive, like more than $50. So this one popped up for 25 bucks and picked it up. So that is kind of the updates with my plant workshop area, my computer thing. I don't like this desk. It was cheap. It was off Facebook Marketplace. I want it gone. I want a nice stylish desk, and I don't need this little sewing stool. I actually want a like an office chair, something nice, something presentable. So yeah, picked up these lights for the kids. They're not using them, so I just tossed them in behind the computer here. So once the lights are off, it'll be a vibe. So yeah, everything's looking good. Everything's doing well. I just put out the Mandula video today. But yeah, everything's looking really good here. Recently, I did a massive clean on my IKEA greenhouse. It is looking really, really nice. So I'm happy with how it turned out. Now I had a couple Barena lights. Which ones are these? These are the T5. I was given the pink ones. So generally I'm not a fan of the pink ones, but I don't think you can really tell. Just I wanted a little bit more light just on the bottom here. So there are the white ones on the top, pink ones on the bottom. There was pretty much no light to these plants down here. So now that I have these pink lights, at least I haven't even tested out the lights, so I might actually do that right now, but at least there's a little bit more light in this cabinet. And this is where I want to add the orchid in. I just want to fill in a couple areas at the bottom here, but otherwise I think we pretty much got a handle on the thrip problem. Let's take a look. I'm not seeing anything, so haven't seen any for a while. I've been spraying these down pretty consistently, so hopefully that is the end of thrips in here. But, oh, dang it. There they are. There they are, those little guys. Right there. Whole cluster of them. Okay, well, this one, first of all, they're getting squished. And then I'm going to take this out of the cabinet and spray it down. Okay, now to the orchid. We picked this one up in Saskatoon. I think this was the one we picked up in Saskatoon. Probably about maybe 3-4 weeks ago. I'm just going to cut this little pot off because it's going to be easier, and this one's just going in the garbage anyway. So got some really crammed in roots. I'm going to put it in this orchid pot, so we'll give it some more space. Overall, the roots are looking really good. I'm just going to cut a few of these dead ones off here. These ones are all crusty and dried up, so we're going to snip those off. I'm just going to remove all the moss, and then we'll put it in a nice air red mix. Now this is where a pencil comes in handy, because I simply just push out or try and loosen up as much of the moss as I can without disturbing the roots. I don't want to break them up. Despite these orchid roots being thick and chunky, they're actually quite brittle. So if you bend them, they snap quite easily. Not like bone dry right now, so that is making it much easier to work with. I did water this a couple days ago before the video, so just going to push that down. So there it is. Looks like some rotten stuff here. Just going to cut this off. This one's nice because it has 2 flower spikes currently in bloom. Now, generally you don't want to repot an orchid when it's blooming because it'll probably send it into a bit of shock, and it runs the risk of losing its beautiful flowers. So we're already starting to lose a couple there, so I think this is going to be the thing that just pushes it over the edge and we lose the flower spikes, but that's okay because it's going to be in a nice chunky mixture, and eventually it will rebloom again. Okay, turning this around here a bit. This leaf always hits me here. For my orchids, I've been using the VeryPlants orchid mix. I picked up this bag not too long ago. I placed an order. I got some succulent mix as well as the orchid mix because I was fresh out. There is a discount code down in the description of the video if you want to give it a try, but I'll show you here without dropping the bag. It is just a nice chunky mixture. Now all I'm going to do is just dump in. I'm going to keep the roots like positioned like that, and I'm just going to fill in, just dump in right around the sides. Then I can use my pencil just to poke it in as well. And I'm going to give it some water. So I'm going to take it over to my shower. I have a garden hose in the basement there, but I've realized lately that after you water maybe like 1 or 2 plants, the tap water, it's just a straight tap. It's just a cold water tap from my laundry room. I have the garden hose that stretches all the way to my bathroom. With it being winter right now, it gets really, really cold. So what I did is I bought I think it's one of those 20 liter, or I don't even know how many gallons, maybe. Yeah, it's a 20 liter bucket. I filled it up to the top, and I'm basically just letting it acclimate because the temperature of the water after filling it up was like 11 degrees. So it was quite chilly. I don't want to send my plants into any like root shock or anything like that. So I did add the big bucket, which I'll just put my watering can in, and then I can water my plants like that. Just as a little trial, I did buy one of those reptile heat cords for my IKEA cabinet. I just wanted to see if that affected the temperature, if it increased the temperature in the cabinet, and I really didn't notice any difference. So what I did is I wrapped it around the bucket. Hopefully that can heat up the bucket a little bit faster. And I only want it like room temperature, like 20 to 22, maybe like 23 degrees. I don't want it any higher than just kind of like room temperature water. So once it reaches temperature, or once it feels kind of not ice cold, then I'm just going to unplug my little heat cord and water my plants. And every time I water them, then I will just fill it up. So that is all I'm going to do. And here is my garden hose, and here's my bucket. So it is filled up. I'm just letting it vent as well. It's one of these like food grade 20-liter buckets. So I'm hoping this cord will somewhat provide a little bit of extra heat. And then I have it running to the outlet over there. So we'll see if this works. Got my first little scoop of room temperature water. I'm just gonna let it sit in this Tupperware container as well, just to let the roots soak up as much moisture as they need. I'm just going to place it around like that, and then pack it down a little bit, give it a little bit more water. So I know people are going to get upset, but the leaves are all dusty and dirty, so I'm just going to clean them off with water. I'll put my little oscillating fan on so that the water evaporates and we don't get any rot or anything from water sitting in the crown. So, or you can take a paper towel and clean it out. Put it right in the crown there, just let it kind of soak up the water, and then just clean off the leaves as well. And presto, no water in the crown. Okay, let's take the orchid over to the cabinet. I've wanted to add some orchids in here for a while now. I actually thought about getting rid of all my anthuriums, but I think there can be a nice balance between the two, so I don't even need my little saucer. I'm just going to put this right there, and let's get it zoomed out. Oops, my plant's falling over here. Push that over a bit so I can keep the doors open, and then let's check this out. Yep, that looks pretty darn good. I do want to add a few more into the cabinet, but look at that beauty. Just add some nice color pop. And as for this one, I was gonna keep it upstairs, but I think I'm just gonna place it right there. And again, without getting impaled. I think that looks pretty good right there. So I think that's gonna be pretty much it for this video. If you have any other comments or questions, please leave it down below in the comment section. Appreciate you watching all my videos. Take care, everyone. Bye.